Spotify Wraps are out. We've been thank you so much to all the listeners who've been sending us it's a trip for me every year when people, send us
Yeah.
those screenshots of how much time they spent with us. So thank you first of all to everyone who sent us those. Some of y'all are crazy. Some of y'all spent more time with us than I spent with us.
They
I don't
got
know.
they'll be like, do we pod that much? Damn, nigga. Bro, this how much time I'm spending away from my family. Shit. That's crazy. Yeah.
Did y'all look at your Spotify or Apple things? You have any surprises on there? Mine are big. I feel like if you have kids, those things are fucking useless, bro. Like I got Kendrick Party in the USA because that was Vinny's walk up song.
That's
Like,
crazy.
you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So I feel like I don't really ever learn anything about myself in there, but do y'all have anything that surprised you on your raps?
Well, let me pull up my motherfucking Apple. I'm an Apple guy.
I'm an
Um,
Apple guy
I'm
too. That's
Apple and
why
Spot. I
it's
use them both. I use them both. So what's interesting to me is like,
what do you had to explain that?
playlists are way better on Spotify.
So
Like
you
the
go,
playlists are
you
way
go.
better.
So what do you use Apple for?
I use Apple for like albums.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to an album, I go to Apple. But if I'm listening to like I want to listen like my number one artist is on Spotify was D'Angelo. My number one artist on Apple was No Worries. You know what I'm saying? Like I think like the fourth listen to song was like a opera song. You know what I'm saying? On Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then like the fourth listen to the fifth artist was Kendrick Lamar, but the fifth album was like Charlotte Day Wilson. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So like that album crazy too, bro. You feel me? Jackson know what time it is. But
I
yeah,
don't know that album, but I love her. She's featured on a bunch of songs
I
that I
think it's
really
called
like.
Cyan Blue. That shit is crazy. But yeah, like Larry June is like the second album. So like, yeah, it's just and then Schoolboy Q. You think I'm from the West Coast too, basically. West Coast going crazy this, like with crazy last year. But yeah, yeah, it's just like I'm like two different people on the different apps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
So you
interesting.
treat it almost like a radio station. Like when you're in a
Yeah, I mean,
certain mood, you go to Spotify. You're in a different mood, you go to Apple.
if I'm listening to an album, I'm going to Apple. You know what I mean? Like that's where I have all. But if I want
Why is
like,
that?
cause okay, I think Tyler had a funny ass tweet when they talked about the suggestions and shit. Like because you listen to rap, it'll give you
Uh-huh.
Big Sean. You know what I'm saying on Apple and shit.
Right,
But it
right, right.
goes off like the suggestions that are given on Spotify are really literally based upon your taste, not just the
Right, right,
genre.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a much better
Right.
algorithm. So like I'll use those like suggested joints.
I guess
Yeah.
my question is, I agree with you that Spotify's suggestions and playlists are better. So why not just use Spotify for albums as well? Why
I
make
just
the
was
distinction
always
and use
Apple,
Apple
so
as well?
maybe I will
Got
eventually,
it.
but like over like it's
Got
been
it.
like
Got it.
that
Got
for
it.
like 5 years. So I just think that's how
Got it.
I'm gonna have a foot in both. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying in both
And then
places. So
Tyler,
I think
Apple Music is the only Apple thing he uses.
yeah, I'm not an
That's
anti-Apple
funny.
guy. If
Yeah.
Apple has the best shit, I'll ride with it. Like, what I'm saying? Like one of my most prized possessions is my motherfucking 180 gig iPod. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So but yeah, I think where Apple wins out is it has the most user-friendly interface for when you're driving and only have a second and a half to look away at your phone.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
I
true.
think that's where
Very
Apple
true.
wins out a lot there too. Spotify's interface is not very, play a song
You
while
got to
you're driving
search to
friendly.
find what you want,
Yeah,
basically. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, yeah.
yeah. So shit. I'm looking at my Apple rap. My top artist: number one, Kendrick; number two, Schoolboy; number three, Vince Staples; number four, West Side Gun; and number five is Mavi. Mavi. I've
I'm not
talked
hip
about
to Mavi.
Mavi's. I love that kid, man. I think he's like 23, 24, real
You
young.
talked. I remember you talked.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
told me
yeah.
that. Yeah.
A kid from Charlotte who went to Howard University and studied fucking neuroscience and made like one of my favorite albums ever, Let the Sun Talk, while he was a neuroscience student at Howard. This year he dropped a new album, and it's the name of that shit is Shadowbox, and one of my favorite songs of the year. Please peep Too Much to Zell, because that's like my number five most played song this year. And the pocket that he's in on that motherfucker is just it's top notch rapping. Mavi, spell it Mavi. So for anyone who's not hip, check him out.
Okay, for sure.
Like
Uh,
my fourth listen to album on Spotify is the Polyphonic Music Library.
I know, but like I said, I'm like you on Apple
Totally different.
because
Yeah,
when I'm writing, I listen to jazz or classical music.
for sure.
So when I get the wrapped or the what are they Apple calls it the replay or whatever, I
Yeah.
just look at it. I'm like, yeah, I wrote a lot of shit this year, I guess. Like oh, I got a lot of Charlie Parker and Sonny Rollins on my haven't released new music in however many
Yeah.
fucking years.
I'm looking at my top songs, and Not Like Us is number one. Thank God for Me by Schoolboy is number two.
That shit's a
Nice.
Yeah,
fucking
Heater.
banger.
Hell yeah.
The Never remix on No Worries featuring Charlie Wilson. My shit right there. Fisher, Cash Cobain is my number 4 song. I was in love with that
That's
song when
fire.
that shit
That's
dropped.
fire.
Cash
That's fire,
Cobain had a
yeah.
hell of a year, man. I really like that kid, bro. He has
For
such a
sure.
distinct sound, man. And number 5 was the track I mentioned with Mobby, Too Much to Zell. So
Shit, I played Sonny Miles is number 2 for most play song. We When You Need, Cleaning My Spot, Larry June, the interlude.
That was I played that song so many
I
fucking
played it a
times.
trillion times.
Yeah.
Kiss and Tell by Charlotte Day Wilson. Net Worth, Tommy Richmond, you know what I'm saying? Then there's like Fisher was number 6. Yeah. Then like there's
I like Tommy
Conway the
Richmond, but
Machine
his presence on mine is Vinny's.
Yeah.
That was where it was like, okay, you're just gonna have your own Apple Music account. This is
Right,
all
right.
fucking like
What's funny is Sir, the Chasing Summers has been in my top 10 since it dropped. Like that album. Like
Yeah.
I still have moments, particularly in the summer, where I'm gonna play that album for 2 fucking weeks. You know what I'm saying? Where like nothing is going to I do that with Aquemini too. Like I have like a moment. I just want to hear Aquemini. I just can't
Right.
listen to there's gonna be a moment every year where I just can't listen to anything else.
The chat has maybe the best idea they've ever had, and the chat has a lot of good ideas. The chat suggested or is asking for us to make a Jenkins and Jonez playlist, a collective Jenkins and Jonez playlist, because we always recommend music, and sometimes people forget or don't know how to find, don't know the spelling of the artist or whatever.
Someone was doing that.
Making a playlist.
Was it on Spotify? Someone was doing that
Spotify,
with
yeah,
the music because when before this show had a contract, John basically would just put up and coming music. And what's funny about it is you were really on some like, some 1950s DJ who put the Beatles on type shit. Like, like John had Old Town Road on like 2 months before that blew up. He had Meg the Stallion's like freestyle shit before she blew up. Meg the Stallion like that. So there are a ton of people who are super famous
too,
now.
That was he blew that.
We was
like a year before, baby.
He got himself kicked out of the Hall of Fame of John Music recommendations.
He blew that, though. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, but it was a lot. And so there was someone who was actually keeping a Spotify playlist of John's music selections I wasn't on Spotify, but that was super, super, super helpful. So yeah, but we should get something like that.
We
going.
was fucking with Larry June in like 2015.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, then we was trapped Larry June. You feel me? We talking about like Glock 40 shit before he was on his, expensive furniture rap. You know what I mean? Like
before he was on the stuffed leather armrest.
Yeah. Before like, imported couches, you know what I mean? Before he got to that type shit. You feel me?
I like that idea. That's a really good idea. Spotify has been a little extreme in my opinion of describing people. I have a friend who we always been joking with him that he's a lesbian forever because he listens to like Phoebe Bridgers is his like favorite musician of all time. But that's like he just listens to like women driven pop. That's like his thing.
Yeah.
It's like same too. But this is what Spotify said about him. They said it was his Pink Pilates Princess Strut Pop season.
All right, man.
I got the same one, baby. I got the same one, baby. I think that was May for me. I think that was May.
I got a West Coast grandma. Did y'all see that? Like West Coast.
Oh, Coastal Grandma. I saw
yeah,
someone.
Coastal
I think
Grandma.
Zach posted
like,
about
what the
that.
fuck is
Or no, my another friend of mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he said every year Spotify gets a little less subtle in the way it calls me gay. That's what he said.
Get us some holiday shopping done this weekend. Pick up some touchdowns. They're on sale at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. What else would you expect from the #1 place to bet touchdowns? DraftKings has doorbuster, profit boost, and bet one, get one promotions on all types of touchdown bets.
The Commanders are turning back into the Washington football team these last few weeks, but we're still locked in on all the Jaden Daniels player props. So be sure to check DraftKings Sportsbook app all weekend for flash deals that will have you dancing in the end zone.
Grab some TDs with DraftKings Sportsbook. They're on sale from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins to opt in. That's code Jenkins only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.